Hi guys, so I'm still kind of fighting through a little bit of a reading slump after the last few books that I've read. Um, so I think it's time to break that up with a little bit of a palate cleanser book. And one way that people have suggested to get through a slump is to completely change the genre that you're reading. And since I've been reading stuff with heavier themes, I think I want to go to a little bit of the romance side. Get something maybe lighter, fluffier, although I have two options. One of them may not be so light and fluffy. um, but I think something a little more fast paced, less sci-fi, less fantasy, less thriller based. So, rom-com, that's kind of where I'm leaning for this week to hopefully bust up that reading slump and get a better reading month for April than I did for March. So, I've got two options for this video. I've got two romance books. They're not necessarily going head to head because I will be reading both of them. But the first one is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. It will be my third Ashley Poston book that I've read. A novel love story I gave 4 stars, and the 7-year slip I gave 5. So it'll be interesting to see where the Sounds Like Love ranks on that Ashley Poston list. But so far I've really liked both of the books that I've read from her, and I have high hopes for it. So the description for it says, Joni Lark has a secret. She's one of the most coveted songwriters in LA, and yet she can't write. There's an emptiness inside her, and nothing seems to fill it. When she returns to her hometown of Vienna Shores, North Carolina, she hopes that the sand, the surf, and the concerts at the Revelry, her family's music venue, will spark inspiration. But when Joni gets there, nothing is how she left it. Her best friend is hiding something, her mother's memories are fading fast, and the Revelry is closing. How can Joni write when her world is leaving her behind? Until she hears it. A melody in her head. Lyricless and half-formed, and an alluring and addictive voice to go with it, belonging, apparently, to a wry musician with an emptiness of his own. Then surely, he's a figment of Joni's overworked imagination. Then a very real man shows up in Vienna Shores. He's arrogant and guarded, nothing like the sweet, funny voice in Joni's head, and he has a plan for breaking their inconvenient telepathic connection. Finish the song haunting them both, and hope they don't risk their hearts or their secrets in the process. Because that melody, the one drawing them together, what if it's there for a reason? So far with Ashley Poston's books, there's always some sort of magical realism element into it. It's usually a pretty real-based world with magic woven in, something that draws the two characters together, and I love that little bit of whimsy and that magic added in to the love stories. So that's first on the list, and the next is Scythe and Sparrow by Brynne Weaver. This is a dark romance, but it's also a dark rom-com is how I would describe it. It is the third in the Ruinous Love trilogy and the fourth Brynne Weaver book that I'll have read. This one finishes out that trilogy. Butcher and Blackbird is the first one, and Leather and Lark is the second, and it's interconnected. It's the 3 brothers, and there's 3 brothers, and this is the third. It's Dr. Fionn Kane is running from a broken heart, one he hopes to mend in small-town Nebraska, far away from his almost fiancée and his derailed surgical career. It's a simpler life. Head down, hard work, and absolutely no romantic relationships. He wants none of the circus he left behind in Boston, but then the real circus finds him. Motorcycle performer Rose Evans has spent a decade on the road with the Silveria Circus, and it suits her just fine. Especially when she has the urge to indulge in a little murder when she's not in the spotlight. But when a kill goes awry and she ends up with an injured leg, Rose finds herself stuck in Nebraska at the home of the adorably nerdy town doctor. The problem is, not every broken heart can be sewn back together, and the longer you stay in one place, the more likely your ghosts are to catch up. So for the first one, with Butcher and Blackbird, it was 2 serial killers fall in love, or 2 serial killers that go after the bad guys fall in love, and that one was really funny. I enjoyed the humor and everything from the first one. The second one, Leather and Lark, was with Lachlan, which was the oldest brother of the Kane brothers, and that one I didn't like as much. So I don't know whether Scythe and Sparrow follows more so the Butcher and Blackbird formula or the sequel Leather and Lark formula. but I still enjoyed it for what it was. But I do think that I prefer Brynne Weaver's new series that starts with Taurus season, and I'm really excited for that sequel to come out. However, I'm ready to go ahead and finish out this trilogy. I think it's time. I took a little bit of a break after reading Leather and Lark before I dove back in, and I think it's time. I'm hoping these two will bust up that reading slump that I'm in, and I can get back into the swing of things for April. Hello, so I am 20% into Scythe and Sparrow and 18% into Sounds Like Love. Scythe and Sparrow follows the youngest brother. Rowan was book 1, Lachlan was book 2, and this is Fionn. And I'm liking it a little more than Leather and Lark, and I think Leather and Lark for me was a darker book. But so far it's not touching Butcher and Blackbird. I think that will forever remain my favorite of the trilogy. I am only 20% in, but I don't know. The characters in Rose and Fionn in Scythe and Sparrow feel very impulsive, maybe. They don't really think things through, and I'm not loving them. And it seems like they're going to get a little more into the romance quicker than in previous books, and I don't know if I'm going to love that dynamic once I get further into it. So I think Butcher and Blackbird will remain my favorite, and that was the first of the trilogy. And of Brynne Weaver's books, I think Taurus season, which is it deals with kind of a spin-off character from Butcher and Blackbird. Taurus season, I think, will still be my favorite of the 4, once this one is done, of the 4 Brynne Weaver books I've read. And then for Sounds Like Love, I'm really liking it so far. It's a completely different vibe, but from Scythe and Sparrow, which is like a dark romance comedy, kind of. But Sounds Like Love is a more magical, whimsical type of romance. But it also, Ashley Poston is amazing at dealing with heavier topics and dealing with grief and not trivializing those, but also not making the entire story feel so despairing. Even though all of her characters so far that I've read are dealing with things emotionally. And I'm really liking Joni as a character so far. If the male main character is who I think it is, I don't like him yet. If it's who we met in the first chapter, then their first meeting was a doozy, and he was a bit of a jerk. He was kind of someone who's a Nepo baby, but also famous, and he assumed she was just a fan chasing for an autograph, and he was a little rude about it, and very egotistical, so I don't like him yet, but I do know with Ashley Poston there is some depth, and there will be an actual character to him. I'm just waiting for that to be revealed. They haven't, other than that brief, 5 minutes together, they haven't been near each other. Right now we're focusing more on Joni and her family dynamic when she's just gotten back home. So it'll be interesting to kind of get at the root of those characters and to see their dynamic once they're together for a little bit longer, once they're in the same vicinity for a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So far I'm really liking it. Ashley Poston's words are so vivid and it's so easy to get sucked into. So I think it's going well so far. I don't know what else to say. So I'm fairly certain that the last time I updated, I was at 20% through Scythe and Sparrow and 18% through Sounds Like Love. It's the next morning, and I am 22% through Scythe and Sparrow and 61% through Sounds Like Love. I there's something in Ashley Poston's books that they're addicting. I flew through it. Um, for one, I'm loving the Easter eggs in Sounds Like Love from the 7-Year Slip. Getting glimpses of Lemon and Ewan was amazing. I loved seeing them, and having read that and that being a 5-star book for me, seeing glimpses of them was just everything. I love seeing them happy and in their element. Um, and disregard what I had said about Sebastian, the male main character, because by 36% I'm liking him, and then by 43% I really liked him. I and I had to force myself to put this book down at 61% last night because it was 3 a.m. I needed to go to sleep. I the chapters are so short. It's so easy to fly through. It's like potato chips when you can't just eat one and all of a sudden you look down and the whole bag's gone. It's so good. Ugh. And what else? Oh, I'm really liking Sebastian because I like how he's encouraging her in everything. Even when she's talking to other guys, there's not this weird macho jealous streak when they're not together. He's encouraging her. He's wishing that she saw herself the way he sees her and the way other people do. And even when she's saying they would be a mistake together, he's there for her. He's quite literally there for her because he's in her head. But it's so, the vulnerability and the intimacy in this, when she can't be vulnerable when she feels like she can't be vulnerable with anyone else in her life except for the guy who's literally in her head and hearing her thoughts. There's something about that. It's so beautiful, and um, there's no spice, but it's such an intimate emotional relationship right now. And well, there's no spice yet, but it's oh, I don't know, but the 60% mark, this slow burn is slow burning. She's refusing to even admit she has a crush on him, even though her best friend totally sees it. And I'm loving this. I'm eating it up. Ashley Poston did her thing with this. It's completely taken over my attention. So yeah, that's my update for now, and I'm gonna keep reading. So it's a few hours later, and I just devoured the rest of Sounds Like Love. It was beautiful. The ending got me. I'm tearing up. Absolutely 100% recommend. Ashley Poston knows how to write a love story, and I'm speechless. Like I said, I devoured it. It was, the characters were so, God, I loved this world. I can't even form coherent sentences right now, but the way she writes real relationships and grief and all of the struggles that real people go through. I loved all of the characters, and overall I loved the story. It was so touching, and I really believed the romance in it, and I feel like every bit of it was earned. It wasn't rushed. It was just beautiful. Um, Ashley Poston might be one of my favorites. Yeah, I highly recommend. So unfortunately, I am officially DNFing Scythe and Sparrow. I made that decision at about 33% of the way in. I just was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling any of the characters. And, being a third of the way in and not having any of the other characters from the previous series in the final book, um, I don't know. I love Rowan and Sloane. I liked Lark and Lachlan. Um, and there just was not enough of them. Rowan and Sloane's cameo um, from Rowan and Sloane's cameo ended up happening at like 39%. I just skimmed from like 33 or 35 or wherever I was at, I skimmed until I got to their cameo, and that was at 39% in the book. And then I think there was more of them in the later parts of the book, because we do see Rose and Fionn show up in Leather and Lark, but I don't think I like the way the series was structured ultimately, with all of the books kind of taking place at concurrent timelines. I think I would have liked to see. I think I would have liked it better if Scythe and Sparrow had taken place after Leather and Lark and Butcher and Blackbird, and we got to see more of the family in it. I would have loved to see more Sloane and Rowan and Lark and Lachlan in this, especially for a finale of the trilogy. Um, so I wasn't entirely a fan of the timeline in the book, and I don't know. I didn't gel with the characters. So I did decide to pick up a third book. This time I'm going for a little bit of a supernatural romantic comedy. The name is actually ZomRomCom by Olivia Dade. Um, the description is: when Edie Brandstrup attempts to save her sweet, seemingly harmless human neighbor from the first major zombie breach in 2 decades, she's stunned to be saved by him and his ridiculously large sword instead. As it turns out, he's actually a super old, super surly vampire. But for all her neighbor's newly revealed cynicism and lethality, Gaston Max Boucher, yes, Gaston, is unexpectedly protective. He wants her to stay in a safety bunker until the breach is resolved. Edie can't risk more innocent people getting killed, though, and Max won't let her save them alone. As they unravel a sinister conspiracy to set zombies loose on the world again, the duo meet a host of lovable allies and discover they're not the only ones willing to fight for the future of humanity. Despite the awful timing, Edie finds herself falling for the vampire who's helping her save the world. But all their dangerous plans could end their future before it even begins. As she and Max battle side by side, Edie must decide whether having a love worth living for also means having a love you'd die for, and in a world that grows deadlier by the minute, whether that's a risk she's willing to take. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. It is. I'm 16% of the way through. There's 400 pages. The chapters are reading super fast. It literally opens on Edie running to save her neighbor, who she um, thinks his name is Chad. She runs to save him from a zombie attack, and the only weapon she's got on her is a burrito. She literally kicks a zombie, falls over, tries to smack him with a burrito, and Chad ends up saving her with a sword. And we finally learn that he's actually not Chad. That was just a little bit he was putting on to kind of mess with her, because he liked to tease her. He liked the expression that she got on her face. And I'm really, really liking the dynamic between these two. The banter is hilarious, and yes, when she finds out his real name is Gaston, even though he likes to go by Max, she does break into a song from, the Gaston song from Beauty and the Beast, but making it fit him instead and the world they live in with the zombies. And I love a good vampire book, and especially one that's got the comedic elements, the absurdity of it all. It's so fun. I love their banter. I love their dynamic so far. And I also really love that Edie is in her mid to late 30s. She's not like some 19-year-old falling for this super old vampire. She's actually older, and she feels a little weird because at first she thought he was younger. And now that she found out that he's a vampire and he's actually much older than she thought, she's like, oh, I might actually like him. And it's adorable, and I'm really liking it. I'm, like I said, 16% of the way through. It's flying by. It's such an easy, fun read, and I'm enjoying it. So, no spoilers, but I just read something about how the zombies work and how they operate, and someone just got. We just noticed that someone was hurt, and why am I already attached to the characters? Why? Why am I so scared? I mean, oh, I don't have good feelings about this, and I'm scared for one of the characters, and it's so soon for me to be this attached to them, but I really hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't go where I think it's gonna go. Purely because I love the characters already and I don't want to see them hurt. Yeah. So I just finished ZomRomCom by Olivia Dade, and it was so fast paced, so good that devoured in I devoured it in a single day. I flew through it. I didn't want to put it down. I don't know if it was a perfect 5, but it was at least a 4. So good. I loved the banter, the relationships, the connections. All of the side characters in it were amazing. I just, I loved the humor, but also the tender bits of it. So good. Um, I didn't, I, I didn't want to put it down. Um, yeah, so I don't know if it was a perfect 5, but it was at least a 4. I think I might have to think on it a little bit to see if it raises up any in rating, but it was a success, hands down. Like I said, I flew through it in a whole day. I laughed out loud. I teared up a little bit. It was so good. The characters, the plot, all of it. I recommend it. It was super sweet. And yeah, so I guess that's the end of this video. Thanks, and come back next week to see what type of reading I get into.